From neck and face creams to waters, cold brew coffee, almond butter, and supplements, probiotics are being added to everything. Plus, there are also natural probiotic food sources like yogurt and kefir and sourdough bread. Do these probiotic sources help with weight loss? 3 things to know about probiotics coming up.
They're back. ProCare Health's customer favorite calcium dark chocolate bars are now available online at procarenow.com. Creamy chocolate plus calcium and vitamin D. You'll love them. Use code SUSAN10 to save 10%.
Hi, I'm registered dietitian nutritionist Dr. Susan Mitchell. You're listening to the Bariatric Surgery Success podcast, episode number 71. Most of my career, I've worked in the media, particularly radio, where I did morning drive nutrition spots over 18 years. I actually started podcasting at the radio station. It ultimately led me to you. I created Bariatric Surgery Success so you would have life-changing information, always based on science, along with simple strategies and tools so that you can use them daily and be successful in your transformation and your entire journey. I'm so happy you've connected with me. You're in the right place. I'm glad you're listening. Are you receiving the weekly Breaking Down Nutrition newsletter? It's a quick way to find out first what's going on in bariatric nutrition, from new freebies we might have, upcoming courses, tips, product discounts, and of course the latest podcast episode. Be sure and sign up at the bottom of my homepage. That's breakingdownnutrition.com. It's also an easy way to communicate with me. You just hit reply to the newsletter. I read all the emails. Okay, moving on. Probiotics are bacteria that offer a health benefit to your body. So bacteria can be a good thing, as probiotics may help prevent or treat certain illnesses. It's no wonder probiotics are often nicknamed the good bacteria. Okay, why does this matter to you? Your gastrointestinal tract, or GI tract, contains many species of bacteria that make up what's known as the intestinal flora. It sounds kind of like a garden, doesn't it? It's a balancing act that goes on in the intestinal tract between good and bad bacteria. Okay, let's see. Think of it this way. Medications, diseases, even some environmental issues can alter this balance, and this flora can get out of whack when you take antibiotics or other medications and can be affected by various illnesses. In fact, diarrhea is one of the most common symptoms that reveals something abnormal is going on. This is where probiotics may be helpful. Certain probiotic strains may help digestive health or positively influence your cardiovascular risk factors, reduce inflammation, support immunity, even help fight depression and anxiety. There's a lot of new research going on in this area with what's called the brain-gut axis. So there'll be more to come on that. Probiotics, they're live bacteria that occur naturally in foods that you can include every day in your diet. So things like yogurt, kefir, kombucha, tempeh, kimchi, sauerkraut, sourdough bread, even pickles and traditional buttermilk. These different foods provide a wide variety of probiotic bacteria strains in modest amounts and are beneficial to your intestinal flora. So probiotics can also be purchased as supplements, and when they're taken in larger amounts or larger doses, they're considered a therapeutic treatment, more like a medication. But not all probiotics survive and thrive. Okay, what does that mean? For you to derive health benefits, these good bacteria must survive the manufacturing process and storage, along with the trip through the gastrointestinal tract once you take them. Since they are live bacteria, all of these factors matter, along with prescribing the right ones for the health benefit needed. So don't miss this. This is really important when it comes to probiotics. It's the bottom line for therapeutic treatment, which will tie to weight loss in just a moment. When you're using probiotics for disease-specific prevention and treatment, which means a therapeutic use, it calls for the precise probiotic species that has been shown to confer a health benefit for that special medical condition. So your probiotics are identified by genus, species, and strain. For instance, with Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG, the genus is Lactobacillus, the species is rhamnosus, and the strain is GG. If the treatment that you're going to use it for calls for this probiotic and some other one is used, the benefit is going to be missed. That's really critical in the field of probiotics in terms of treatment. Plus, the supplement must provide an amount that works, just like if you're taking an antibiotic or some other type of medication. The dose has to be an amount that's shown to work. So an adult probiotic should be alive, because they're live bacteria, typically provide at least 1 billion colony-forming units, also called CFUs, and you'll often see that on the label, and given in the correct dose and frequency. So this is why working with a dietitian is so important when it comes to using them for treatment. What about probiotics then in weight loss before and after bariatric surgery? Well, research studies do indicate that someone who is a moderate weight has different bacteria in the gastrointestinal or GI tract than someone who is overweight or obese. And also interesting is that there tends to be less diverse bacteria in someone who is obese. Less diverse GI bacteria appears to be tied to more weight gain than in folks who have more diverse GI bacteria. The issue is figuring out the methods by which probiotics affect this GI bacteria, affect body weight, and ultimately affect the belly fat or the loss of weight to come. This is currently not well understood at all. And this is why we're so uncertain as to whether probiotics may or may not help. There is thought that probiotics may help the battle with weight loss in several ways, including the release of appetite-regulating hormones, ones you might have heard about like glucagon, like peptide 1 or GLP-1, and peptide YY, also known as PYY. And these hormones may then help burn calories and fat. There's also some thought that maybe probiotics will increase the level of fat-regulating proteins that could lead to reduced fat storage. Obesity, though, remember this, has also been linked to inflammation in the body. So what happens, we wonder, if the health of the GI tract is improved with probiotics? Overall inflammation may be reduced, which may then help with weight loss. So you can see that there are a number of theories as to what's going on in the intestinal flora with someone who is overweight or obese and then someone who has surgery. There are several strains of probiotics in both the Lactobacillus and the Bifidobacterium family that have been shown to potentially reduce weight and belly fat. But here's where we need now more studies that show, okay, how much do we use? How often? What is the doses? What we do know in participants in the few studies done so far is that when you stop the probiotic, the weight gain seems to come back. So will this mean that probiotics are needed daily and ongoing if they're to be used in weight gain or preventing weight regain? So this is why we need more research studies first. We just don't have the answer to these questions yet. One word of caution, though, I do want to mention about probiotics. We always think a little is good, more is better, and they work for everyone. Probiotics aren't for everyone. For example, if your immune system is impaired due to treatment or disease such as cancer or cancer chemotherapy, taking probiotics is not a good idea and can actually make your situation worse. Also, if you're pregnant or quite elderly. You may want to talk to your healthcare provider before deciding to take any probiotics. So until we have more specific research on weight loss and probiotics, remember though that probiotics in food can be a really good thing. So the yogurt, the kefir, the sourdough bread, the tempeh, sauerkraut, even those pickles, remember that they can help improve digestive health. And hopefully at some point we'll find out that that reduces inflammation and risk factors associated with cardiovascular disease and may even help with fighting depression and anxiety. So having them from your food is a very beneficial thing until we find out the exact species and strain that's needed and the dosage for helping with weight regain. So in the meantime, take good care of yourself. Be good to you. You're worth it.
Bariatric Surgery Success with dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell is produced and owned by Practicalories, LLC. All rights reserved. Remember, the content provided on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't create a patient-provider relationship. It's intended to provide reference material and is not designed to provide medical advice. Please consult your healthcare provider regarding any medical issues you have relating to symptoms, conditions, diseases, diagnosis, treatments, and side effects. Podcast guests express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions which do not necessarily reflect or agree with the host, Dr. Susan Mitchell or Practicalories, LLC.